Here's something that's going to mess with your head. The reason you're not where you want to be isn't because you're saying no to the wrong things. It's because you're saying yes to too many right things. I know that sounds backwards. Stay with me. Warren Buffett's business partner, Charlie Munger, once said the secret to their success wasn't finding great investments. It was saying no to good investments. Think about that. These guys turned down thousands of profitable deals to wait for the few perfect ones. But here's where it gets interesting. Most people think the enemy of great is bad. Wrong. The enemy of great is good. Good is what's killing your potential right now. You're drowning in good opportunities, good meetings, good projects, good favors for good people. And every single one of them is stealing energy from something that could be extraordinary. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how the most successful people on the planet think about opportunity cost. More importantly, I'm going to give you a bulletproof framework for saying no to good things without looking like a jerk. And at the end, you'll get one simple challenge that will change how you make decisions forever.
Let me paint you a picture. You're ambitious. You work hard. People notice, so they start coming to you with opportunities. Hey, would you like to join this committee? We'd love you to speak at our event. Can you help with this project? It'll be great exposure. Want to grab coffee and talk about a potential collaboration? All good things, all legitimate opportunities, all from people you respect. So you say yes, because that's what ambitious people do, right? They seize opportunities. Except here's what nobody tells you. Every yes is 1,000 no's. When you say yes to that speaking engagement, you're saying no to deep work on your core project. When you say yes to that networking coffee, you're saying no to the focused thinking time that leads to breakthroughs. The math is brutal. If you have 2,000 productive hours in a year, and that's being generous, every commitment you make is borrowing from a finite pool. You can't manufacture more time. You can't work harder to create more hours. The only variable you control is what gets those hours. Most people operate like they're trying to fit 50 things into 10 slots. Then they wonder why they feel scattered, why their big goals aren't moving, why they're busy but not fulfilled. Meanwhile, the people who seem to have supernatural focus, they're not superhuman, they're just ruthless about what gets access to their calendar. Steve Jobs didn't save Apple by doing more things. He saved it by killing everything except the few products that mattered. He said no to hundreds of good ideas to protect space for the great ones. All right, so how do you actually do this? How do you say no to good opportunities without burning bridges or looking like you think you're too good for people? First, you need a decision-making framework, something systematic. Because in the moment when someone's asking for your time, your brain goes into people-pleasing mode. You need to decide your criteria before you're in that situation. Here's the framework I use, and it's based on how the most successful people I've studied make these decisions. The 3 gates framework. Every opportunity has to pass through 3 gates. If it doesn't clear all 3, it's an automatic no. Gate 1, the energy test. Ask yourself, does this energize me or drain me? Not whether it's important, not whether it's good for your career, whether it gives you energy or takes it away. Your energy is your most precious resource, more precious than time, because you can have time, but if you're drained, that time is worthless. When you're energized, you can accomplish 10x more in the same hours. If something doesn't pass the energy test, it fails immediately, no matter how good the opportunity looks on paper. Gate 2, the alignment test. Ask yourself, does this move me closer to my 3 most important goals for this year? Not your 20 goals, your 3 most important ones. If you don't have 3 clear goals written down somewhere, stop this video right now and write them down. I'm serious. Because without clear goals, every opportunity looks important. With clear goals, 95% of opportunities become obviously irrelevant. The opportunity doesn't need to directly accomplish your goals, but it needs to clearly contribute to at least one of them. If you can't draw a straight line from this opportunity to one of your top 3 goals, it fails. Gate 3, the opportunity cost test. This is the killer. Ask yourself, what am I not doing if I say yes to this? Because saying yes to anything means saying no to everything else you could be doing with that time.
Is this opportunity better than your next best alternative? Not just good, better. If it's not clearly superior to what you'd otherwise be doing, it fails. Here's what most people miss. The opportunity cost of good opportunities is usually great opportunities. You're not choosing between this speaking gig and watching Netflix. You're choosing between this speaking gig and the deep work session that could lead to your breakthrough. The 90% rule. Here's a bonus filter from Derek Sivers that'll blow your mind. If it's not a hell yes, it's a no. Rate every opportunity from 1 to 10. If it's not a 9 or a 10, decline it. Think about your last few big decisions. The ones you rated a 6 or a 7. How'd those work out? Probably fine, maybe even good. But imagine if you'd waited for the 9s and 10s instead. This is why successful people seem to have all the luck. They're not luckier. They're just saying no to everything that's not extraordinary, which leaves them available when extraordinary shows up.
Now for the practical part. How do you actually say no without destroying relationships? Most people think they need elaborate excuses. They don't. In fact, elaborate excuses make you look weak and unreliable. Simple, honest responses are more respectful and more effective. For speaking engagements or events, thank you for thinking of me for this. I'm honored you considered me. Unfortunately, I won't be able to participate due to other commitments. I hope the event is a huge success. For collaboration requests, I appreciate you reaching out about this opportunity. My focus for this year is, insert your actual focus, so I won't be able to give this the attention it deserves. Wishing you the best with the project. For coffee meetings and general networking, thanks for the invitation. I'm not taking any new meetings this quarter, but I appreciate you thinking of me. For committee or volunteer positions, I'm flattered you thought of me for this role. I've made a commitment to limit my outside obligations this year to focus on specific goal. I hope you find someone who can give this the energy it deserves. Notice what these scripts have in common. They start with gratitude. They give a brief, honest reason. They don't apologize excessively. They don't leave the door open for negotiation. They end positively. The key phrase that changes everything. I don't do X instead of I can't do X. I don't take meetings on Mondays sounds stronger than I can't meet on Monday. It positions your boundary as a principle, not a temporary inconvenience they can work around. For persistent people who won't take no for an answer, I understand this is important to you. My policy is to keep my commitments limited so I can give my best to the things I do agree to.
Let's talk about why this is so hard. Why does saying no feel like you're missing out or being ungrateful? Fear of missing out, FOMO. Your brain is wired to overvalue immediate opportunities and undervalue future possibilities. This made sense when we were hunter-gatherers and had to grab every chance for food we saw. But in today's world of infinite opportunities, this wiring is sabotaging you. The cure for FOMO isn't saying yes to everything. It's getting crystal clear on what you actually want. When you know exactly where you're going, it becomes obvious which opportunities support that journey and which ones are distractions. The gratitude trap. But they thought of me. I should be grateful. Being grateful doesn't mean being available. You can appreciate that someone values your contribution without sacrificing your goals to prove that appreciation. In fact, the most respectful thing you can do is only say yes to things where you can give your best effort. Saying yes out of guilt and then showing up half-hearted isn't doing anyone any favors. The networking myth. But I need to network. I need to stay visible. Quality beats quantity every single time. One meaningful relationship with someone aligned with your goals is worth more than 100 superficial connections with people going in random directions. The people worth knowing will respect your focus. The people who get offended by your boundaries, those aren't your people anyway. The sunk cost of identity. This is the big one. You've built an identity around being helpful, being available, being the person who says yes. Changing that feels like losing part of who you are.
But here's the truth. The most helpful thing you can do is become extraordinary at what matters most to you. That extraordinary version of you will be infinitely more valuable to the world than the scattered, overcommitted version of you. The success stories. Tim Cook at Apple has a policy. He only takes meetings that either generate revenue, improve products, or develop people. Everything else gets delegated or declined. That's how he runs a trillion-dollar company without burning out. Jeff Bezos at Amazon implemented what he called regret minimization framework. He would only pursue opportunities where he'd regret not trying more than he'd regret failing. This meant saying no to countless business ventures and partnerships that looked profitable on paper but didn't align with Amazon's long-term vision of becoming Earth's most customer-centric company. Naval Ravikant has a rule. He only invests or advises companies where he can be genuinely helpful and the outcome can be significant. He says no to 99% of opportunities, even ones that would be profitable, because average outcomes don't move the needle for him anymore. Esther Perel, the famous relationship therapist, turns down most media opportunities. She could be on TV every week, but instead she focuses on her core work, seeing clients, writing books, and producing her podcast. By saying no to constant media requests, she's able to create work that actually impacts people's lives. Here's what all these people understand. Your reputation isn't built on how many things you do. It's built on the quality of the few things you choose to do exceptionally well. Here's where this gets really powerful. Every no you give to a good opportunity increases your capacity for a great opportunity. Think of your attention like a financial portfolio. If you spread it across 50 different investments, you'll get mediocre returns. But if you concentrate it on the 5 best opportunities, you can get exponential returns. This compounds over time. The person who says no to 10 good opportunities this month has created space for one great opportunity. The person who says yes to all 10 good opportunities is too busy and too scattered to recognize the great opportunity when it shows up. 6 months from now, guess whose life looks completely different? The hardest part isn't learning to say no. It's learning to tolerate the discomfort of empty space in your calendar. We're addicted to being busy because being busy feels productive. But being busy is not the same as being effective. Empty space in your calendar isn't emptiness, it's potential. It's where your next breakthrough is going to come from.
All right, let's make this practical. Here's exactly how to implement this starting today. Step 1. Write down your 3 most important goals for this year. If you have more than 3, you have too many. Pick the 3 that, if accomplished, would make this year a complete success, even if nothing else happened. Step 2. For the next week, before saying yes to anything, run it through the 3 gates framework. Does it energize you? Does it align with your top 3 goals? Is it better than your next best alternative? Step 3. Practice the scripts. Don't wait until you're put on the spot. Practice saying no gracefully right now, so when the moment comes, it feels natural. Step 4. Schedule 1 hour this week for opportunity review. Look at your current commitments. Which ones wouldn't make it through the 3 gates framework if someone proposed them today? Start planning your exit from those commitments. Here's your challenge, and I want you to do this in the next 24 hours. Identify one commitment you currently have that if someone proposed it to you today, you would say no to. Something that's fine, maybe even good, but not great, not aligned with your most important goals. Then, schedule a conversation to gracefully exit that commitment within the next 2 weeks. I'm not asking you to burn bridges or be rude. I'm asking you to create space in your life for something extraordinary. Use one of the scripts I gave you. Send that email. Have that conversation. Clear that space. Because here's what I know about you.
You're not watching a video about saying no because your life is too empty. You're watching because your life is too full of the wrong things. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones who seized every opportunity. They're the ones who had the discipline to wait for the right opportunities. Your extraordinary life is waiting for you to make space for it. Now go say no to something good so you can say yes to something great. Drop a comment below with one commitment you're going to gracefully exit this week. Let's hold each other accountable for protecting our most precious resource, our focus. And if this framework helped you, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. The person who's saying yes to everything right now needs this message more than they know.